All right, good afternoon. Today I have up here with me John Bringawat, the Monroe County attorney. I have Rebecca Keiko. She is the Director of Research, Strategy, and Development for Monroe County, as well as Beatrice LeBron. She is the Executive Director of the Father Tracy Advocacy Center, who's also part of the Neighborhood Collaborative Project, who's impacted by the announcement we're making today. As part of our community investments with our American Rescue Plan dollars, those were federal dollars that the county, the city, communities across the country received in the wake of the COVID-19 pandemic. We had announced an unprecedented collaboration among 13 organizations to strengthen and empower neighborhoods within the city of Rochester. The investment involved nearly $7.2 million to be distributed over 4 years for work being done in a variety of critical services, including housing, rehabilitation, workforce development. These are programs that are directly tied into neighborhoods by using trusted community partners who are the boots-on-the-ground organizations that are the closest to the people that we're trying to serve. This was a significant need that was identified through the American Rescue Plan process and trying to figure out how we can better utilize these boots-on-the-ground organizations that are close to people and can best provide this delivery of services. The fiscal agent for the initiative was the Community Resource Collaborative. They managed the contract with the county and then dispersed the payments to the other organizations that are part of the NCP umbrella. So the Community Resource Collaborative was managed the contract with the county, and then the Community Resource Collaborative served as that umbrella organization for the 13 service providers that were part of the NCP. To date, about roughly $1.1 million was dispersed to the CRC to be used to then pay those CBOs for the work that they've done. Late Tuesday evening, we were notified by the Community Resource Collaborative that some of the CBOs had issues with their payments in late January, sparking an internal review there. The CRC notified us that there was fiscal mismanagement on their part and had dismissed an employee. So they had notified us late Tuesday night of fiscal mismanagement on their part and that they had dismissed an employee. On Wednesday morning, we engaged our independent external auditing firm, the EFPR Group, to begin an immediate forensic audit. We also immediately suspended all future payments to the CRC to protect those funds, because remember, this was an over $7 million project. $1.1 million had so far been dispersed from the county to the CRC, so we suspended all future payments to the CRC. And we have been in contact with appropriate law enforcement entities. The bottom line is that these are public dollars, and they have been appropriated to go to trusted community-based organizations who are performing life-saving work throughout the community. So today I have two concerns. Number one, we have 13 organizations that are intended recipients of these dollars. And because of the financial mismanagement we were notified of, we had to shut off the funding. Right, we had to stop those payments from going. And so one of my two concerns is the impact that that's going to have on the work that they're doing, because they can't get paid for that work right now. And these are organizations that are doing life-saving, critical work throughout our community, need these dollars, and are doing a tremendous job. Second concern I have, obviously, is financial, because these are tax dollars. These are federal tax dollars that come down to our community, and we have a fiduciary responsibility, and I have a responsibility to make sure that when something like this happens, we find out what happened, get to the bottom of what happened, hold those accountable who did this, and make sure that we get these organizations back on track. And so those are the two areas that the county is working on right now, is to make sure that we do everything we can to minimize the impact that this could have on the programs and services, and then also to work to make sure that those dollars are accounted for. And we did that through our accounting firm, and obviously by notifying the appropriate law enforcement entities. And so today, to talk a little bit about what is the neighborhood collaborative program, what is the NCP, how does it work, and what are some of the life-saving work that these groups are doing, and why they were the recipient of the American Rescue Plan dollars from the beginning. I have with me Beatrice LeBron, who, as I said, she was the executive director of the Father Tracy Advocacy Center, who could share some of the information about what they're doing with these American Rescue Plan dollars to impact the community.
Thank you. First and foremost, the Neighborhood Collaborative pilot was initially built and proposed to the county as a capacity building and the opportunity for agencies who had never officially partnered before to come together and start looking at these problems as a collective and seeing how we can support each other in this work and further expand our services throughout this community. So things like housing for individuals, access to rehab, security deposits, furniture, emergency services, working in partnership with DHS and the county for individuals who may encounter issues navigating those services, case management, just to name a few of the services. Workforce was one key area that every single organization has committed to, so there's a workforce component for people in the neighborhoods to also work within our own organizations to build capacity. And so I would just want to say that the situation's really unfortunate because this is such a broad group of organizations, but really community impact, residents, families, children, and adults alike throughout the entire city of Rochester and Monroe County that are going to feel the impacts of this. And we are doing our very best to continue the good work, but it does take operational dollars to do this work. And I want to just thank the county executive and his team for their very fast and swift response to this, but also for their support to the organizations as we navigate through these challenging times. And I just want to say that together, I hope that we can find ways, together with the county and the NCP pilot, to continue services and minimize the impact that this could potentially have across Monroe County on families. Thank you.
All right, thank you. So with that, we could take any questions that the media might have. That's the subject of the forensic audit that's taking place right now.
And you mentioned that CRC had terminated an employee and let you know about the problem. Do you know the circumstances of that termination, what might have prompted it other than general mismanagement?
That's what they notified us of the other day, so that's all we know. That's why we engaged our forensic auditors into the process immediately and notified, like I said, law enforcement. That's the subject of the investigation. That's why we asked for that investigation.
You had also mentioned before that the CRC had notified you that the organizations had trouble with payments, but are you specifically focusing on that individual that was released with police?
Well, let me back up and talk about that for a moment. I could probably ask my county attorney to weigh in as well. What was notified on Tuesday evening was that the CRC acknowledged that there was financial mismanagement practices in their own company, right, at the CRC, which led to the termination of an employee and the impact that it impacted this particular program. And so what we did is, proactively as part of the American Rescue Plan program, we had contracted with an independent audit firm that would be available in this type of circumstance, right, in case we needed to do something like this and engage with one of the recipients. So the EFPR group was already in place to be able to immediately, the very next day, step in and start the process of engaging in that audit to look at everything to find out exactly what happened here.
Can you rattle off some other organizations that are in the NCP, and is the goal to ultimately get this money eventually? How are you going to handle that?
Oh, 100%. So the goal, I'd love Beatrice to talk about this because this is really good work that's happening in the community, and that's what that's what's so concerning about this, and what has happened at the CRC, is this is really good work. It's having a real world impact here. And obviously that's something that we're going to work very hard with over the next couple of days and weeks here, is to try to minimize that impact as much as possible. But I'll have Beatrice talk about some of those agencies.
Absolutely. And so there are 3 anchor agencies, and the way that the pilot was set up, it was to address issues across all 4 quadrants. So it is SWAN is the Southwest Neighborhood Anchor Agency. The Father Tracy is the Northeast Anchor Agency. Cameron Ministries is the Northwest Community Anchor Agency. And the way that the model works is that there are 3 anchor agencies and smaller grassroots organizations that are in that quadrant, and we meet together. And then there are other additional partners, right, that have sort of formed naturally out of this. And so that includes the People's Pantry, the Baraka Muslim Center on Jefferson, ABC Action Front Center, Baden Street Counseling Center on Joseph. These are a number of well-known and respected organizations that have made a name for themselves as trusted community resources. And so when I say that the impact is great, the impact is great. And the individuals impacted, or on an organizational level, right, we've never had to endure experiencing anything like this. But I will stress and say that this was a fast response, the fastest response I'll say I've ever seen from government. And so again, I'm very thankful to our county executive fellow and his team for their very prompt response in issuing out a forensic audit, and working to ensure, and working with the organizations, right, working with us as we navigate through this to minimize the impact that this can have in neighborhoods and on individuals who come to our centers every single day looking for assistance and support and help.
One more question for me. Was it one specific organization that was like directly impacted, or was it, mismanagement that impacted all of the organizations?
Sure, if you'd like to. Sure.
Yeah, I will say it. Right now, unfortunately, all of the organizations have been impacted, and what that impact is still unknown, and that's why we have to wait for the forensic audit. And we're thankful, because I will tell you, as grassroots organizations, we do not have the same level of resources to implement a forensic audit, right? It would have taken us much longer if we were on our own doing this, and so we're very grateful for the county's support in that. The other piece I will just add is that, the intentions of this is not a new concept. I know that there have been some remarks made publicly by County Legislator Barnhart, and I personally want to address those right here as best as I can, to say that CRC was an organization itself who provided services to youth 16 to 24 who were victims of gun violence or experiencing domestic violence with rapid relocation, and not just getting them out of a dangerous situation, but replacing them into somewhere safe. And the services that they provide, there are families and youth impacted by this as well for them. And so it wasn't a shell company. They're also a fiduciary for a number of other organizations that are not part of NCP, that are not part of ARPA or part of the county, and they too will be impacted by this. So until the forensic audit is fully conducted, we won't know the full magnitude of the impact. But I just have to put that out there, because I did see that she put out there that they were a shell company, and that is absolutely not true. That organization provides a lot of critical services that a lot of other organizations shy away from. And so, for me, I would love to see them sort of figure out a way to bounce back from that, because there will be an impact for them as well.
Anything else?
Question that I had. Has the county worked with CRC in the past?
No, this is our first contract with CRC, correct? Right. Yeah, this is the only current contract we have.
Was this done through like an ARPA process?
Correct. Yep.
Any idea how long this will take? And if money was missing, what happens then? Is there a...
Yep, John.
Good afternoon, John Bringawat. I'm the county attorney. As the county executive said, the focus now is on the forensic audit. Our hope is that will be completed to a reasonable degree within a matter of a few weeks, depending on the information, though, that the EFPR firm is able to get. It could take longer. We need to let that process play out. and then we'll determine next steps. We'll follow the facts.
And if there's missing funds, is it just it's gone now, or is there something?
I think it's premature to speculate about remedies at this time. The county will pursue all remedies that are available to us to recoup funds.
All right. Very good. All right, thanks, everybody. Yeah, you want to spell your name into the microphone?
My first name is John, John. Last name is Bringawat, Bringewatt.
All right, great. All right, thanks, everyone. All right. All right. I'm gonna, someone's got to scan me.